maybe you can start here. You can introduce yourself, the stakeholder group that you represent. Thank you.
Kwa majina mkoa Afrika ni naibu mwajiri MC Maera. Mwani na Banzeni, Vitu Stanyokadi, msimamizi wa mama maendeleo ya wanawake na Women Peace and Security.
Morning everyone, my name is Waidake Amos, representing the MC for Hesgate 1, Eugene. Thank you.
Good morning all. My name is Peter Wangui. I'm here to represent Dualani Ward MCA, Joseph Monji Moraya. Good morning everyone. I'm Peter Mbogwa, representing MCA Biashara Ward, Elijah Maura.
Yes, good. Just Maradona, great to be able to present the MCA Alex Bobo.
Good morning everyone. I'm like Kanal Bobo, representing MCA
Thank you. Since this is the table, so I think yeah.
Morning everyone. This is Lisa. I'm representing the market and also consumer. I'm also a consumer.
Good morning. My name is Morris. I'm in Bashaota.
Good morning all. My name is Renewal.
Good morning everyone. My name is Kevin Kimboy from NAIVAWASCO.
Good morning everyone. My name is Felix Morema, a staff member.
Good morning. My name is Adam Urugu. I'm an account stakeholder. I was invited to this meeting. Thank you very much.
Morning everyone. My name is Lilian Temper from Norwich. Morning everyone. My name is Martin.
Morning everyone. My name is Edward Mukua, staff member.
Good morning. My name is Michael Kudel from Bashaota. Sisi Waduk from Bashaota. First legend and the second last. Favorite chicken from Bashaota.
Thank you. I know there are some who are also coming, some are also outside, and some are on their way. So I think they'll introduce themselves as they come. So we might be having short breaks for introduction as they come. So I can give to you.
Good morning. I'm Terry Bicheni. Good morning, and I'm Edith Masibu.
Good morning. I'm Engineer Nebriata from Moscow.
Maybe you can introduce yourself.
I will start with money or Yamal security water project.
Thank you. I think we have used most of the first, so maybe you can now get to this table. And this, I know we'll be having more time for proper introduction, so just for the rest of us to know who is representing.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sabina Kamau, Director of Investment. Good morning, everyone. I'm Joyce Wailumbe, Director of Administration.
Good morning. My name is Joseph Keter, acting CEO of WASCO.
Good morning everyone. Good morning. My name is National Home and the shop.
Good morning. My name is Johnson Karanga, Chairman of WASCO, representing the professionals.
Thank you very much. I think there is one person who has just joined us. I believe he's a consumer.
Good morning. My name is Ali. I'm a consumer.
Thank you. So maybe I would want, for purposes of setting of the atmosphere, just to get a few remarks from, maybe we can have the MD just officially welcome all of us. Then we can invite the chair to give an official welcome. Thank you. Sorry. My apologies. I think I skipped one critical person. So maybe engineer can introduce yourself. My apologies.
Good morning. Yes, I'm Peter Gaga. There's no one is sleeping. We have a whole group to announce.
Thank you. So that's it. We can have the MD to invite the chair to give an official. Or maybe we can have the CEO WASREP give his remarks and also welcome you. Thank you. Karibu sana.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the chairperson for the board, the board director to the CC member, the MD, my colleagues from Moscow, our distinguished representation from different workers, including the staff from Naivasco Water. Good morning. Good morning once more. Mine is going to be very brief. Mine is to thank all of you for accepting to come to our public consultative meeting today. This is going to be a WASREP affair in the sense that the mandate for WASREP is to protect the interest of the consumers. That is as per the Water Act of 2016. Among the critical issues which all of us we must appreciate is that the constitution of Kenya, the constitution indicates the specific rights which Kenyans are entitled to. Among key issues to do with getting the birth certificate, the passport, one things is to ensure that at least you have access to water. Access to water and also dignified sanitation. And the main purpose for us to come here today is because all the public institutions in Kenya, be they national or county institutions, they are expected to engage their stakeholders through a public consultative forum in order, first of all, to enumerate their mandates and the services they are giving, and also to have an interactive forum or session with the stakeholders, so that at least it's your right as a stakeholder to confirm whether the service being given by Naivasco Water and Sewerage Company is being recognized from the Crown or is being witnessed on the Crown. We looked for so many years like before, when the county governments and the national government will not agree, particularly on the interpretation of the Constitution, whereby the mandate for the national government is to establish the national major infrastructural development. But things to do with the provision of water services and sanitation to the Kenyan citizenry rest with the county government. And the Naivasco Water Company is an entity of the county government. That's why we really want to thank Engineer for being with us. And also, we are praying for Engineer Ngeno to be appointed, back again to the cabinet. Because I think during his tenure, he's the guy who single-handedly made sure there was a wonderful relationship between the national government and the county government. When I came to know him,
tulikuwa tuongee na huyu tulikuwa tuongee na yeye tena. Whenever he was given a chance to speak, I used to go to Mashudi. Sasa wewe tunatoka pamoja, please don't usiongee sana kwa ukali. Akasema no, I must mention it to your faces today. But the more he mentioned, the more we also understood where he was coming from. And I think today we have crossed the bridge together. We are not able to agree exactly. Because the very minute the national government, the county government goes out of time in interpretations, and even taking very many cases to court. And it's my prayer, that I think during this time now, the national government, please let us do more consultation than rushing to court, because I think we lost very huge opportunity by just doing a lot of unnecessary. There were not unnecessary litigations. I think because the challenge was effective communication, for which we really appreciate now. We have a wonderful rapport. Very briefly now to Naivasha Water. The reason why we have chosen to come here is that we have dedicated this day today so that we can hear you. We want to hear from the consumers. We want to hear from you. I think the first thing which we want to tell the Naivasha Water is to be engaging. Continuously engage your stakeholders. Ukisikia kwamba kuna pipe imepasuka, definitely create a hotline. And you must attend to that one within the next few minutes. I will explain the reason why. And then honor the days. Tunaweza sema labda wakati ya Moi ndio eti consumer asipolipa maji eti unaenda kung'oa mita na kuweka kwa ofisi yako. Honor those days. Chair, and I think through your board, ikiwa consumer hajalipa pili ya maji, mwende mketi chini pamoja na yeye. Yeah. Agree on how they can pay for the first one, and then you start at the remaining ones. Lakini kwenda kung'oa mita na kuweka kwa ofisi yako, no, hapana. Kwangu ni uwisi kwa sababu siwezi benefit hiyo mita. Yes, so it is not fair. So let us try to see that tuweke mstari wa mbele our consumers, lakini tusione ya kwamba eti hata akikosa kulipa, so labda alikuwa analipa fees, then you agree with them. And the model which is being used in other areas, sehemu ambao wako na kahawa na chai, agree with them. Wakati ile wanapata bonus ama wanapata lolote ya nini kahawa ama hapa kwenu kwa sababu ya maua, try to balance. Ni wakati gani wanategea pesa sana. Create a wonderful rapport. Mambo ya leakages, tafadhali muondoe hiyo. The board, the above board in everything. And I think we wish to congratulate the board here kwa sababu vile walichaguliwa without interference. And regulations here, I think my colleague, Engineer Jaga, will answer straight on that. Ni kwamba board inatakiwa iwe staggered, ili wasiwe wanaleta all of them at the same time. Appointments here board again must face public participation. They must be held competitively. Na kwa wafanyikazi wanatakiwa wawe productive. Wafanyikazi wanatakiwa kujua ni kazi gani ambao wanatakiwa kufanya. Master rep do not emphasize issues ya kwamba eti staff wa future cash hapana. Staff apatiwe performance contract yake, wajibu ambao wanatakiwa kutimiza. And then access to water. We shall be focusing on efficient water. Every year, how many new connections are you making? How many new connections are you making? And then try to work closely, and I think I must congratulate na nitaomba wakaji wa pande huu. Kuna vitu vingi WASLEP na Ministry of Water wamekuwa kufanya na Naivasha Water, lakini mtajulishwa kwa muda mwingi. And I'm not happy with the MD kwa sababu I would have expected him aweke hapo mbele kile trophies nimekuwa nikipatia kila mwaka.
Already started.
But I'm surprised he's not even sharing it with you. He's not even celebrating. The support you have been giving him. Last year tulipatia vikompyuta, mwaka huu pia tulipatia vikompyuta. And normally in the every year we normally have the impact reports. Here ndio first year engineer gana kozi.
Hii ilikataa kushuka.
Unajua ni kwa nini?
Ndio maana tukajaribu.
Kwa sababu huyu ndiye anachukua vikombe vyote. Ile nation ni kubwa. Unajua kuna categories karibu 3. Huyu ndio I think has been leading. Yeye na Samuel Muraya Jerry wanashinda ndio kila wakati. And then again we really appreciate Nakuru County because the rural water services are going on very well. Before the end of this year, we are going to visit Rwanda because we really want to benchmark with the best practices in Africa. Water quality. Tunaomba MD hakikisha kila wakati tunapima quality ya maji so that wananchi wasiwe wanapatiwa maji ambao haijapimwa. Kumalizia we want to appeal to our local people. Tafadhali tuwe tunalipa bili ya maji. Na nimeshukuru kwa sababu nimeona wakilishi wa MCS wamefika hapa hivi. Tafadhali mweleze MCS maswala zote ambazo inahusika na maji. Kwanza upande wa budget. Wawe wanajua kila mwaka budget ya maji iongezwe. Nitawachia engineer Njaga waeleze the challenges we have kwa sababu ile budget ya maji kutoka kwa national government na county government ni kidogo. We want to request the county government tafadhali muongeze hiyo budget ya maji. Lingine ni kwamba ya toro uwizi ya maji hapa Naivasha, they not even in water. It is a top level 28%. So for the next 1 year we want to give them a target over 15. Hapa kwenu mna uwevi wengi sana. Mna wakora wengi wa maji. But let's just allow you only 15. Tuwe na wakora wachache. Maybe 15. So for the MCS, kwa mikutano, work closely with the chiefs and assistant chiefs. And also the deputy county commissioner and the assistant county commissioners. Tusikubali uwizi ya maji. Tusikubali watu ambao wanakunywa maji bila kulipa. Maji inakuwa treated. Na tafadhali kwa mikutano zenu muende mseme. Na wakati mnaketi, wakati MD ataongea, atasema hii trophy ni nini na nini. Tunataka kila mtu kwa hii ward ya Naivasha wajifunie zile vikombe zote ambazo zimetunukiwa nani? Ni zenu. The stakeholders from this area. Kwa hivyo, ikiwa he is one of the best in the world country, out of the 91 water service providers, kwa nini watu wa Naivasha wanaipa maji 28%? Mkataa hiyo kitu kabisa. Mkataa hiyo. The other thing is, ile kitu ambayo tunaomba kila mtu anipe maji ni kwa sababu kuna ile maji ambayo tunapeana kwa poor of the poor. And the MD is handling that one very well. Slum areas, water boosters zinasumbuka pale kupeana maji at free. So sasa msee kama huyu naona kwamba hii nguo yako umeifaa ni zaidi ya 5,000. So we shall be requesting you unalipa bili yako ya maji kwa sababu kuna yule ambaye anakaa kwa slum ambaye hana uwezo kabisa. So that is the goodness for you to be paying your bills kila mwezi. Na tuwache kabisa hiyo mambo ya kuiba maji, na mkiona past pipes tunataka kuomba MCS pia tafadhali muunde ile kitu inaitwa village council kwa kila kijiji, anything to do with water. Tusiporekebisha hiyo pipe past ya maji, mjue tutauliza kama watupatie pesa kurekebisha. Are you getting it? So these are some of the areas we really want the participation from our people. So MD, let me continue congratulating you with your board. Hatujasikia vita kati ya MD na board yenu, na the next step now is for us today to know whether we are going to give you a license, and I have already agreed with my team in Wasra na serikali wametupatia board kwa sababu tuko na board kwa some time. We are seeing now in future maybe tutapeana license ambao ni ya muda kidogo, ili tusiwe tunakuja hapa kwenye kila wakati. Kwanza Naivasha tutaona. In fact, this is one of the water service providers we usually be giving them lessons of 10 years. Why should I be coming to the financial always? Afadhali tuende kwingineko huko bora wachabuka, tuende tuamsha hawa. Lakini hawa, I think they are really doing very well. They are doing very well, and but you know, I'm required to be here personally to confirm and also hear what the stakeholders are saying, and I think you should also confirm today ya kwamba tulimpatie idhini apatiwe pesa ambayo ilitoka kwa World Bank. Sijui kama aliwaeleza, kwa sababu that's one of the accountabilities again. Ili wakati wa upande huu unapoipa maji ujiulize, kumbe unaipa maji kwa upande mmoja na World Bank wanawasaidia kuwapa pesa. Even if the MD will come to office next week na kusema kwamba anataka kuenda bank kuomba pesa ambayo inaitwa blended finance, what my team today watawaonyesha ni ile kitu inaitwa commercial viability. Kwa sababu sasa we want the water service providers, they can knock at any bank na kusema vitabu vyangu ya pesa ndio hizi. Ile pesa mimi napata nacho. Let me give you example ya Kisumu Water Company. Kila mwaka wanapaki na 76 million. Ile inaitwa surplus. Mama, sisi tulikutana wapi? Ndio ndio uso sio ndio. So surplus maana yake ya kwamba pesa ambayo unaweza kutumia kufanya expansion on your own bila kusaidiwa na county government, bila kusaidiwa na ministry of Water. Surplus, whereby you can go and tell the bank, niko na 76 million, lakini mradi wangu ni ya 500 million. I want to deposit this 76 million with you, but you give me 500 million, na nitaenda kupatia wananchi maji 1,000 new connections. That is where we are heading to. And WASA will always come to your aid, MD, and the chairperson. Otherwise, with all this, I would like to declare this one day public consultative forum between the local people of Naivasha and Nairobi, Naivasha Water Sewerage Company officially open. Thank you very much, Mr.
President. The political table, kwa taarifa yenu, huyo mzee anaketi alikuwa George natembea hapo awali. Mpigieni makofi. So we know him very well. Habari zenu? God is good all the time, and that is his nature. Naitwa Terry Micheni. Mimi ni mtangazaji, I'm also a public noise maker as will be demonstrated today. Lakini kwa ofisi I'm a very polite lady, hata CEO anajua inabidingi atumani auliza is Terry doing well, ni vile tu nakwanga mpole huko kwa ofisi. Yeah. Otherwise wapigie wanawasred makofi tena. We are happy to be here. Leo ni siku ya nani? Jiambie leo ni siku yangu ya kusikika. Public participation, sheria imetukubalia tuje kwa ground, tuwasikize nyinyi, mtuambie ikiwa kwa kweli hawa watu wanafaa kuwa na license ama namna gani. So kwa kifupi, hebu tuangalie hiyo program niweze kuwaelezea vile tutaenda kwa haraka. Kutoka kwa oversight remark ya CEO Wasred, in a short while I'll be inviting the CC Nakuru County Engineer Festus aje atoe remarks. Then after that, my board chair wa NAIVAWASCO atakuja azungumze, na najua mnajiuliza kwani hawa watu waoni MD wetu yuko hapa. MD leo ndio tumemweka wapi? Kwa mizani. MD leo hapo kwa weighing scale. Na nitawachanua inashoni wewe utajua maswali ile utauliza, because now utakuchanua kabisa MD asikuja hapa kutuambia huyo wasile bwata, hata mnaona vile watu wangu wako na furaha na mnaumia. Mzungumze leo, sawa? Wa MCS, mareps, mtuambie biashara, kuna biashara ward huko kwa ground manjini inakaaje. So leo ndio screen ya kuongea. Then nini kabla MD aje, after board chair tutaita representative wa Central Rift. Nasikia tutakuwa na link online, kwa hiyo popote alipo aweze kujitayarisha. Pia nisema mkutano huu tuliambia Naivasha Water waweze kuleta link ya kuweza kustream live. I hope we are on good. So wale stakeholders ambao wanatufuata kwenye mitandao, karibuni. This is Naivasha Public Consultation on License Application. Baada ya hapo ndio MD aweze kuja kutoa presentation, and then tutaingia kwa kipindi ambacho nilipenda sana, plenary. Maswali yako kwa kampuni hii, maswali yako kwa WASRAD, manake WASRAD tutakuwa tumeshakuambia kazi ambayo tunafanya. Sorry, nilikuwa nimesahau kidogo. Baada ya board chair, Engineer Jaga sasa anakuja kutuelezea license maana yake ni nini na kwa nini tumefika hapa. Nitaje tu kwa kifupi, Naivasha Water, hizo wote mnaziona hapa, wamefanya kazi nzuri, ingawa round hii they missed from the best 10, they were number 12 overall. Kwa number 12 Kenya nzima si mchezo, wapigie makofi. Lakini awards zile ambazo walipata ya kuwa top utility in the medium category, makofi kwao. Watakuja watatuambia zaidi, walikuwa the most improved utility in Kenya. Na waliimprove kwa marks nyingi sana. Niko kwa hiyo timu ya kutengeneza hiyo impact report ambayo unaiona hapo, na najua kwamba ilikuwa kijasho kwa zile kampuni ambazo zilikuwa zinapigania kuwa most improved. So Naivasha got that, and they were also the best in reporting. In fact, hapo ndio wanascore sana kwangu, because I am very careful about reporting impact. So this is a utility ambayo tunafurahia kuja. Mimi mwenyewe nimekuwa kwa hii kampuni yao mara kwa mara, nimestress Harry, nimestress MD. That time alikuwa mdogo hivi, nikimwambia customer issues must be done above board. So I used to come here, so sio kampuni geni kwangu sana. Kwa hivyo nafasi hii nataka kumkaribisha Engineer Festus Neno aweze kuzungumza na sisi. Makofi kwake.
Thanks so much, Jerry. Nipigie makofi Jerry. Good morning everyone. Engineer Festus Neno is my name. I'm the current CC Judge of Water, Sanitation and Environment and Natural Resources at the County Government of Nakuru. Thank you so much, CEO WASRAD, for coming to place this. This is the WASRAD. We are just sitting and learning. This is what we are responsibility today. Chairman Board and the Board of Directors, MD, and the stakeholders who have come. We appreciate your coming. I've seen quite a number of my good friends. I know we've been meeting in the cafe. Danduku from Nakuru, even the Rapikian, kutoka Nakuru. I've seen Absalom, and I've seen also the county admin staff. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming to this. On the onset, receive greetings from Her Excellency, the Governor, Susan Kiuga. She is aware that we are here, and therefore she has passed her greetings to you. You receive it? Yes. Thank you so much, and we appreciate that we have a new governor in our midst. I want to appreciate the reps. I have not met your MCs. I know all of them are new. Yeah, but with you, I know they are in induction in our group. We will be able to have a conversation. We will be focusing quite a lot in Russia. And as you mentioned, maybe you need to mention, and I know they will be told, their responsibility is budget allocation. So mwandikiwa ambio umesemekana hivyo, wako na pesa ya kuallocate pesa ya maji. So that will be their responsibility. They are what we call the Water Development Fund. which we usually appropriate. But CEO to mention, and we appreciate you, is that when we came into office 2018, Naivasha used to cover only Naivasha CBD. What I call Naivasha municipality after the but we pushed it and we appreciate that it was expanded to the entire Naivasha sub-county. So the role of Naivasha Water and Management Company is to cover the entire Naivasha sub-county. That means all the water available here and the CBD. On the outside also to mention that as a county government in Nakuru, we have these service providers. We have NAIVAWASCO, which covers the Nakuru urban, like covers two counties, Nakuru east and west. Then we have Naivasha, which covers Naivasha sub-county, and then we have Nakuru rural, which is our food company, covers the other 8 sub-counties. We have 11 sub-counties in Nakuru, and therefore it's our responsibility as a county to provide water and sanitation services for over 21 million Kenyans in Nakuru. And we can only do that through the 3 water service providers. And therefore, we call them and we have this conversation with the water representatives of the 55 wards. We work together with the 3 water companies to provide water and sanitation services. So that is our structure that we have as a county. And I think as per the constitution, the water and sanitation services is a dual function. That is why we are here, not with the water and the water utility is also important for the role of the county government. And the water abuse that is what is connected, and also we are county water management, which is important. And I think that is the legal framework that we've been able to put in place to raise it to our multi-vote mechanism. For us as a county, we work together with utilities because it was not going to be very easy to provide water for free during COVID time. So we had to find ways of providing the utilities for us. At the same time, we need the low income consumers in terms of how could they be able to access water during the COVID time. And 50 is to make sure that we give as a county support, and we appreciate the support from the regulator in providing the conditional liquidity. Quite a number of things have been looking at the performance of the utilities, while the utilities is number 12 overall in the country, but there are quite a number of awards that we've been able to receive, including what we mentioned here, the best reporting in the country, best medium category, because most improved utility. I want to mention that as for me, I look at it from the bigger picture. Now our utility now NAIVAWASCO is usually the second best in the country. Just second to Nyeri. The only thing that Nyeri puts us on, and the regulator knows this is only the if we only reduce the revenue in NAIVAWASCO by only 5 or 10, in every other category we usually pick Nyeri. In fact, we are not in terms of size. Now, Nakuru Rural, which is a rural water utility, the regulator runs them with urban utilities, and we have, sometimes we can say we need to create a category for rural water utilities. But we are happy as a utility, as Nakuru Rural, we compete with urban, and we usually pick the urban utilities. And looking at it from the county perspective, we are doing very well in terms of governance and the leadership that we provide the utilities, and that's why we really appreciate the presence of WASCO in terms of providing. In fact, we are paying quite a number of our utilities up to Nakuru with us. Sanitation issues, I mentioned it, you are aware. We are the best in terms of our sanitation. In fact, with the National Water and Sanitation Investment Plan, that we just start up on it, support from the utility. We would be fast to no one opposed about the tariff. The group will tell you we have never had a problem. In fact, when we have stakeholders meeting in Nakuru, people don't say we don't have a problem paying. But can you provide services? That's an issue. I think that's a critical aspect. And I have known that for us in Nakuru, even when we were talking about the sanitation charge, the one for sewerage, they say they don't have a problem, but can the service be provided? So as a county government, it is our responsibility to keep in check with the utility working with the national regulator and also the other stakeholders in terms of delivery of water and sanitation services. And therefore, then with those few remarks, I want to say thank you so much, CEO, and team for putting this together. We look forward to getting the license. And as I've requested, and we work together. Now that we used not to talk, but now we are talking well. 10 years side license is a good one for us as all the pre-interviews. They want to take up around
Thank you so much, Mzee Nemo. Tupigie makofi tena. Basi tukiwa na functions zetu, tuwe na watu, tuwe na focusing. We always depend on Engineer Nemo. Tupigie makofi. Hii kazi ya maji, I can assure you, it is very stressful. Now let me talk kama raia. Mimi nimetoka kwa utangazaji, niko mtangazaji KBC, Citizen and all that. Nilipoingia sekta ya maji niligundua kazi ya maji ni ngumu sana. Maana tunafanya kazi na maengineer na watu ambao wanaongea vitu ya ajabu, tariff 0 to 6, sijui meters cubed, sijui nini na nini, nilikuwa naona nyota. Lakini ninaheshimu wale watu ambao wametushikilia mkono. Tukiita stakeholders, they ensure they are there and representation is well. Kwa hiyo sipima makofi tena kwa kuja. Ikiwa hatukuwa tumekutambua while the speeches were on, wale wameingia baada ya introductions tupungie mkono kuja. Huu ni mkutano wa public consultation on licensing for Naivasha water. Leo ni siku ya consumers kutoa maoni yao. Kwa hivyo nafasi hii nataka kumkaribisha board chair wa Naivasha aweze kuja kutuambia mawili matatu, kisha sasa tusikie kutoka kwa Engineer Njaga why the license. Karibu sana board chair.
Asante sana Terry. Thank you for leading us. And all protocols observed. CEO, WASCO, thank you. Karibuni sana, it's an honor for the whole team for WASCO actually joining us. It is not easy. I remember the last time we were with you here, last year for the time, and we really held our hands. And nimeshukuru sana. WASCO, they've worked with us. They've actually held our hands as NAIVAWASCO. And we are grateful for you attending and taking care of us and being good partners. So I want to also thank the county government headed by CC. Nieno, you'll be good to us. And I echo again, but I just wish that you would thank the management headed by the MD, the whole NAIVAWASCO management. We are here because of the work we are doing. And I think we've had what CEO has said, what Nieno has said. We are grateful and we have seen this. This is what, these are the results. Yes, kusema tu, kusema na kutenda. We can actually witness that they've gotten awards for most improved, best utility in reporting, top category in medium, top utility in medium category. So we want to thank the whole management headed by the MD. We also want to recognize all the stakeholders. I noticed kuna wamama, Mkabi, kuna maendeleo ya wanawake, kulikuwa na representing the challenges. There is also before there was done, I think done. I'm seeing Absalom and your team, municipal, karibuni. Tumeshukuru sana for you coming. In short, for me, I think Nieno has said most of the things. I just want to reiterate that as NAIVAWASCO governance, as the work of the board is actually oversight, make sure that governance is tops. And I want to thank the MD, I want to thank the Nakuru County because they are the owners, they own the majority of the shares in the NAIVAWASCO, that you have supported us in governance, in training, in inductions. So I can tell you without fear or doubt that actually governance in NAIVAWASCO is tops. We actually both look, we have our normal board meetings,
The KPIs are observed. So this performance is also as a result of governance in the company. In terms of coverage, we have 7 wards, but we've adopted a new one, Manila. So as MCAs sit here, we've actually now, out of 7, now we have an extra 8. Most are covered. The engineer has even mentioned that come along or not because of the industrial park. Now we are servicing Longonot, Maimadi, and Suswa. Water now, we are more, I think within a few months, we have almost 1,000 connections since the industrial park was launched like a month ago. So in terms of connections, that is tops. And we are almost headed, we are above 11,000 from almost 2,000 connections for the last 1 year. That shows that we are serious about providing services, and not just services, making sure that the services we provide is sufficient, that we are able to give you quality water, we are able to provide hours of supply throughout the day. So we and also non-revenue has been mentioned, and we are coming from far, especially the management. They've worked hard to ensure that what we achieve our milestones. So it's still December too. So I believe that this strategic plan will be able to provide water and sewerage. Sewerage is our biggest challenge. Sometimes you also want to tell you the truth. Sewerage is our biggest challenge because of the investment involved. And we also want to, the MCAs who are here, also the representative of MCAs, we need a lot of partnership with infrastructure. County governments, again, the infrastructure for sewerage is huge. So sometimes we are torn in between providing water and the expansion of sewerage. So that one we require a lot of partners. But I also want to thank our partners headed by WASCO. We have WhatsApp, we have Salvation, we have UNICEF, Central Rift, we have partners who have been able to help us in all this infrastructure. So us here is actually to say thank you. As much as we have the challenges, what we wameshika mkono, and WASREP trainings. I want also to echo again, WASREP have helped us in trainings, the board trainings, and other stakeholders. And in terms of one of my last comments will be providing services to the low-income areas and the poor. That is something that we have also started. So we're not just providing water. It's not just a commercial. For the sake of making money or profit, because we are not profitable. We are supposed to also provide water to the poor. We have a poor policy, and we have a structure to, in terms of traffic, in terms of
thank you, Chairperson. My name is Peter Wangui. I'm honored to be in front of you. I represent the MCA Viwandani Ward, Honorable Joseph Mwangi Morai. Maybe I can have some 2 or 3 comments. One, I would really congratulate the NAIVAWASCO for the work they have been doing. I am a witness. They have been doing a commendable job, and that is something that we have to congratulate you for. So maybe we might have some 2, 3 complaints. Number 1, there are these local vendors. Maybe they are located by the municipality, and we have been having issues with them. Issue number 1 is some of them do not operate during the day. Some of them operate maybe in the morning hours and don't operate during the mid-morning hours. People are suffering. They do not have water. And there is one specific one at Goldfish. We really need to maybe have a good understanding on how we operate. And if it's a private entity, maybe how can we make it public so that people can have good services? They have water running throughout the day. And then there are plots that do not have the municipal water. They are not connected to water. Residents have to buy water from the private vendors outside, and the private vendors buy water from the municipal. So we really want to know if there could be a law enforced to help them connect every tenant should have water in their residential areas, so that we have, like, we do have a consistent supply of water, so that sometimes residents do not lack water. So something else I would really need to talk about, giving water to those who are not even able to pay. The Propel program that the chairman is talking about. There are some other areas you find
so nashukuru sana for that. Asante.
Cold fish, uko cold fish ndio size gani hiyo? Cold fish iko to my south or to my north of Naivasha. Okay, asanteni sana. Tutasikia mengi kutoka kwenu wakati tutaingia kwa plenary. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa, may I recognize the presence of Bwana Charles Murage from Central Rift Water Works Development Agency, ambaye ataweza kuzungumza na sisi baadaye kidogo, lakini kwa sasa nataka kuchukua nafasi hii kumpisha Engineer Peter Njaga, makofi kwake, ambaye ni wale ambao tunawaita mabazu wenyewe kwa hii sekta ya maji. Hawa ndio wanajua hii sekta ya maji vile iko, sheria ambazo zote zimetungwa, amekuwa kati yao. Na kwa sasa yeye ndiye Director Licensing Standards and Advocacy wa SREB. Makofi mengine tafadhali.
Thank you and good morning, and all protocol observed. Kama mmeambiwa, I'm Engineer Peter Njaga, Director of the licensing. I was here last time when we were engaging on tariff, Chairman, and I think I was sitting on the same spot. And I like to sit here so that when I stand, I can see everybody and can see me. So it's important that usually very strategic. And I want to thank the representative of the MCA, because last time, in my view, it's like the whole of the sub-county was presented because all the MCAs are here. And I believe the same thing I'm seeing, because I'm seeing all the rep here, and this is quite in order, because if you go to the first section of our constitution, power can either be exercised directly or through your elected representative, isn't it? So as WASREP, we are taking that the ones you represent are well represented by you being here. I want also to recognize the presence of Mr. Noro, my friend. Yeah. You've been very active. Tunakutana naye hata Nyandarua, not only here in Nakuru, and many other places. That I am always assuring him that every time I'm an event to do with water, I will make sure that we bring him around. I think he's played a great role in trying to bring some issues that are cross boundary, and those are quite key. As we were told earlier, leo ni siku ya for us to decide that this company qualify for a license, and why they need a license. If you look at our constitution, the right to water iko pale, kila mwananchi ana haki ya kupata maji. That is where we are coming from. It's not just a meeting in vain. And that right to water has been translated into standards. It's not just our right. It means upate maji kwa bei nafuu. I think the issue of Prokua came in, and we are going to discuss about it. It means upate maji safi. I think it also means maji from your tap all the time. Na sio maji ambayo unapata through broker, that huyu ananunua hapo alafu anauza pale. So that right has been translated into standards, and the WASREP has been created by the Water Act to protect that right and interest of the consumer. Lakini nataka tujiulize sasa, we know that water service provision is by a company. Which company is capable of giving you clean water? Just simple sort of testing here. Is it a weak or a strong company? Strong company, isn't it? Which company is even capable of giving the poor water for free? Is it a weak or a strong company? Yes, that is why we must meet here and assess this company and see if it is strong. If it is strong, then we are happy. We know it is going to help us get the right to water. And for us, we have a criteria we use in licensing. Kuna mambo tunaangalia, and that is what I take you through. Alafu mkishaangalia hao, kampuni itakuja hapa itajitetea. And then Rift Valley itakuja hapa watajitetea, and then we shall get plenary. So what I'm giving you is a mark scheme in which you will use to see surely hii company yetu does it meet that criteria. And we need to be very honest, because if we support a company that is weak, everything will just sink. I was very impressed, Waziri. You see what has happened. We have a new governor, isn't it? Lakini swali yake ya kwanza pengine it was whispers, aliuliza waziri, mimi nafanya kuendelea mzuri sana hapa, kuniambia siri iko wapi? And he said clearly, give the companies autonomy and let them run at arm's length. I'll take you through all that, and then after that the companies will come in, Rift Valley will come in, and then I will get into a plan. So be very keen in what I take you through. And I want to emphasize, maybe you're very lucky. Very soon tutapata nafasi kuongea na magavana, they will sit like they are. What I'm sharing with you is what we shall share with them. Nothing different. I know very soon we shall meet, we shall have a chance to meet the Parliamentary Committee on Water. Those are very critical organs in this body, in this country. And what I'm sharing with you here is what we are going to share. Very soon, we shall get time to brief our Cabinet Secretary when he's appointed. Again, what I'm sharing with you is what we shall share with the Cabinet Secretary. Kwa sababu lazima tuongee zote on the same thing, isn't it? Yeah, and if they can say that if you want to work faster, go alone. But if you want to go far, work as a team. So we think that if we create this common understanding in our Council of Governors, yesterday I read now they have a chair for water. If we create the same sort of understanding at the policy level and at this level, then we'll be able to move this country forward. Before now I get into my presentation program, I want to acknowledge one thing. The time I knew Naivasha Water here, it was a baby. Waziri, it was in a small category, very small category, isn't it? Na ilikuwa na mambo mingi sana. You know, I don't want to discuss that. Eh? But I've seen it grow now. From small now, it is in the medium. Eh? You see, it is growing, and this is what we really want to see. And very soon, with the 1,000 connection, I think the one the chairman has just mentioned, I think mumeingia category ya large, isn't. These are the kind of companies we want. We want a company that is growing, not that one is stuck, that it is the way it was 10 years ago. Yeah. And by the time we are hitting 2030, there will be the large league, probably very large category. So that is what we want to see in this country. Now here we tunaita progressive realization of the rights to water. Because as you grow, more people benefit, isn't it? That one we have seen it here, and the progress you see here, I think is a testimony. This company was the best in the medium category, number 1. Uhao majanti yote nchi mzima ilikuwa number 12. Na katika kuweka bidii, we call it the most improved, waliweza, they really earned a lot of mark on that. We would want all companies to move in that direction. And if this happens, then we can say with confidence we are on the right trajectory to our Vision 20 target of universal access. So I'll take you through these issues here. Tutaangalia very briefly about the legal framework. Ile sheria iko ya regulation. Very briefly, tutaangalia what is the role of the GTBR. We shall also be looking at the institutional organization set up in the water sector. Regulation inafanya nini? Why is it that the MD, like the way we normally get other sort of license alafu karudi? Why do you have to regulate? We shall also be looking at the reasons for that. Then we shall be looking at the procedure and requirement for obtaining the license, which is very key. A company will not be issuing the license without this kind of meeting. If you were to issue one without consulting the public, that is an outright illegality. I think mmeshajua hii maneno ya consult watu, si ndio? Yeah, try to go over it and then you are not getting anywhere. And then we will be looking at sector performance. And then we will be looking at a very important area on financing. We need money. And then we shall come back to our honorable MCAs. Clearly, what is your role? Because if people get their role, then you get it right. And then we'll also be looking at what we need to give priority. And then I'll jump the slide on commercial viability and talk about it as we finish. And then we'll be coming to conclusion. So I want to say that I said the right to water is embedded in our constitution. And we know that we have 2 levels of government. I think it's now clear now. Now it's not like 2014 when we had a lot of push and pull. And we know where water service provision is. Water service provision, Ikoko County government. That's very clear now. We spent a lot of time, a lot of years, push, a lot of time was passing. but that is why it belongs from our constitution. And we also know that the human right has already been embedded in our constitution, and they have said that if you unband that, it's about water without discrimination that the poor should get. It's also about that water must be affordable, it must be clean, and you must not get it from very far away. That is what it means, the human right to water. I think I'd also given a summary of that in my opening remarks, that under our new constitution, we had what we call, the duty bearers. So we have the national government, and then we have the county government, and then there are those we call shared function. So despite us being operating in an evolved sort of situation, we still have shared functions like planning, monitoring, and enforcement. What we call sessional paper number 1 in this country. And that sessional paper number 1 was supposed to address how water service provision was being given in this country. Before that, everything was just from the headquarters. Even the tariffs would be Maji House, everything would be Maji House. And I would imagine even here in Nakuru, there was water service. It was probably either through the Ministry of Water, and there was probably one payment office. I know in Nairobi where I worked, the whole of Nairobi, there was only one payment office at City Hall. It didn't matter whether you live in Karen, in Ruai, you had to get into a vehicle and queue there for hours. So if you came to Nairobi those days around City Hall, there was always a large crowd. Now, because you don't want to queue for long, you come there unaambiwa mama au baba sasa leta nikulipie, and then you find it is easier. Then somebody will disappear and come back and give you a receipt. Si amekulipia na unaona yourself time In those days computer hazikwako, ilikuwa ni ile printers zenye zilikuwa na hivyo dot matrix, ndio. Alafu unafurahi umwambia thank you, pengine unamwachia kachai unaenda. When you receive the next bill unakuta hata imeongezeka, ile ingine haijaondolewa. It is still there. Then you make noise. Then unarudi pale unaambiwa bana sijui nini, wacha tukuelezee, and then unalipa the same way unalipiwa pale. What they used to do, they would go and do another bill separately. The money would never be put in your account. They would just go and duplicate that dot matrix pale pale na unapewa. So the bill would permanently remain. And one of the issues was I am paying my water, and still the bill keeps on to be growing. So 1999, this session of paper of 1999, having looked at all these things that were going around, it brought up some radical, reform with the water sector in line with the world international best practice. One, ikasema kama ni mambo ya policy, ipaki kwa ministry. It's a permanent policy. If the issue of water resource management, that is how WRA came into being. If the issue of water service provision, that is how the boards came into being, plus the water service providers. If the issue of regulation, that is how water came into being. So everybody got his job, and that brought in efficiency. I think aside from that, you would hear in those days, when we are talking about our country, people would drive along State House Road. Najua State House Road, politicians, alafu wanasema walikuwa wapi? They will say they have come from a meeting at State House, isn't it? Until one day the president will intervene himself and say, stop cheating people. You can't drive in around your State House along the road. Then you cheat people that you had a meeting with me there. So that is where we have come from now. So what that means in those days is that most of the decisions to do with water were coming from the top. But now decision making was brought at the bottom. What I'm trying to tell you is that devolution ya Kenya kwanza ilianza na upande wa maji. We formed water company 2002-2003. That is when water companies came in. That's when we had MDs. That's when the boats also came in. So maji ilifika mashinani mbele ya the devolution that came under the constitution of 2010. In fact, when the constitution of 2010 came in, we were telling the counties, can you find out how the water companies operate to the poor mashinani for long? And I think you heard Waziri say that in Moja December allow the water companies to operate at arm's length before there is a vote, and you should be very careful. Him being the minister, why not get it on your mother? We get it by the now we have how are you to sort out that case? So he sends his other senior officers. That is now corporate governance, and that's what we need to practice. Now I want to say, I think I've talked about that, the primary duty of WASEM, and specifically the role of WASEM is licensing, and then setting standards. If you take a glass of water here in Nakuru, Mombasa, it should be the same, and also the implementation of these standards. We also facilitate the member information, and that is why every year we release this report called the impact, which is on your desk. If you read this report, which is an obligation you have to read every year, you will see the performance of all the water companies in this country, and you see the weak areas and the strong areas. As NAIVAWASCO Tanzania, you see where it is done very well, and like any other company, you see where it has challenges, and that's where we need to step in and correct. So as a board, when you sit in, it's good that you approach the issue in a very focused way. Be guided by what is here. Where the company is not doing well, just look in the list. You will find another company that is doing very well, and it will be in order actually. You say, why don't we want to benchmark na hii kampuni hapa and find out what they are doing? That is the essence of this. But you just don't say, tunataka kwenda Singapore or Zanzibar. You are laughing because we have said these things at Basel just because you want to be in a place. At one time, one company came to us with all the board, and they were very tired. We told the CEO, hey, we work here at Secom. We've been away the last 1 week. We had come from Zanzibar to Benchmark. And the one rep had been in Zanzibar about a week before they went, because Zanzibar is a very poorly performing company. In fact, they were learning from us. In fact, the then CEO, Engineer Robert Kakubia, just started to laugh. So if you are benchmarking with the poor of the poor now, surely then they value for that, eh? No, so it's important that you are guided by something. You go and benchmark with the best, and then on someone who is very close to you, and then you are likely to make some good improvements. Now, in the water sector as a whole, and I think we want to get clearly, there are three critical actors, and balancing their interests is really the challenge. Of course, kuna county government, and the county governments and national government. On the other hand, we have also the consumers, and on the other hand, water service providers. In July, if you went around to those words, wale kuambia watu mimi ukinichagua MCA, whichever party hamtalipa maji, that person would have been recorded and used. You promise consumers free water, decide you use it. Again, the other end, if companies are not regulated, they are likely to overcharge or just keep on getting bills and there's no service for that. Government sometimes is whiffly, like it is. And I say that with confidence because just before election, all those companies that were adjusting tariff, but now you can see the service are deteriorating, the performance of the company is going down, and you need to adjust the tariff. So how do you balance that? Do you allow the company to collapse just because you want to safeguard an individual interest? So balancing that when Delegate Act is what WASREP does. And so we are usually in the middle of things, and it is not a good position. You know, the CEO can tell us, sometimes we are flashed even by national government, out of government. You see, they think we are going against the interest, but we are very much guided by the legal and regulatory framework. So it's quite, or even consumers sometimes think WASREP have adjusted this price. But we do that to save the company from collapsing. So that is the role of WASREP. Now I talked to you about the license, and I'll talk this summary. A license is an instrument that gives you as a company the mandate to do your work. And the law is very clear. You whether to find a biashara maji, you must have a license. And if you are doing so without a license, then that is an illegality and action can be taken. So the issue was raised about those water vendors. Are they licensed? They are not. They are not. We know the licensed person here is a NAIVAWASCO. We are discussing this water company. So they are engaging into what we call illegal business. They tell you they are drawing their water from the main supplier. But you'll find even when the main supplier, if you break down, they still have water. And that is the reason we say that if you engage into that kind of a business, please be licensed so that we can be able to safeguard the consumers from the point that ile maji wanaletewa ni maji safi, ni maji haina madhara, it's not contaminated water. So the point here I want to put is that for you to be water service provision, you need a license. And for you to get a license, there are certain conditions you need to adhere to. And that is what we have come to assess this company along those conditions. Now, sasa hapa tusaidiane because you make the decision. For you to be able to qualify for license, the first requirement is that there must be evidence that your company has a board of directors who possess the necessary qualification as per section 1792. Tunaangalia hiyo. That's the first thing. Oversight. Do we have oversight in that company? A company that has no oversight, we are reluctant. Then the next thing we look at, does the company have the technical and financial capability? Technical and financial. And where we do it, nafikiri tumesikia, how can we take care of the poor of the poor? And the only company that can be able to do that is a company that has the technical and financial capability. So that's why you basically do that. You try to bring in a company that has not that capacity, then you are not solving the problem at hand. Then, the third thing that we look at, the company must give evidence that its services will be provided in a commercially viable way. What I simply mean by that is that they are going to do a business that will be able to cover their cost. If they are spending more and getting less, that company is collapsing. Again, we don't want these companies to collapse. That is why, as was said, we are very strict. And there's a parameter we use. We call it O&M cost coverage, operation and maintenance cost coverage. This is the ability of the company to meet its cost, and we like it to operate at more than 100%. In fact, if you get up to 150, we are happy. So that's a parameter we look at. The book before you here, ukiangalia external impact, there's a page, I think page 14 or something, you'll see the performance of all the company. You look at the column O&M, page 24. Ukiona pale, utaona O&M. That O&M figure should not be less than 100. Count, you can count. We did this the other day. You can count how many are less than 100. The number that are less than 100 here now, that makes us worry. When we see there are so many, then one can say the Kenya water sector is diving, is going down. And these are figures, these are numbers, and I think we have all learned from the other day that numbers don't lie. You'll find the numbers here. Even the figures here in impact here, the numbers here don't lie. So if you find it's less than 100, then there's an issue, and WASRE brought now is to see how can we really bring some turnaround in that, and that is the work of WASRE. The other thing is that we want the company to produce to give evidence that is going to operate in a sound business, in a business-like way. So we looked at the company has a strategic plan, does it have a business plan, or is just operating in a vacuum? So once all these instruments are given to WASRE and we get satisfied, then you say, okay, I think this company is on the right track to, is a potential to be given a license. Now, I think here I just want to emphasize one thing, that an application for a license must be subjected to this public consultation. Kwa hivyo hizi vikao cha muhimu sana. We try to do otherwise, then we fail the test. And I think this comes from the Constitution. The decisions of this nature that affect, that go to the core of the 190 must be subjected. 190 must be allowed to have a say. And that's why we made this. And I hope this session is getting very well documented. One on it now is being shown there. And our communication team here is making sure that all this information gets to you. This is very key. So that after this, the decision we make here, should somebody run around and say, no, I don't agree with what you're saying, we will just produce all this evidence. And our evidence will be true, it will not be a forgery. Because most of you, who are invited to andika affidavit, kama ulikuja hapa, utasema you are here. So I want to emphasize that this is very key. And we have found ourselves in trouble in the past because of cycling. Now I am getting to the bigger picture because we are part of the bigger picture. And I think I'll skip that and get there. This is very important. Naivasha mnasikia hii kampuni imechukua sub-county kadhaa ime-expand. Lakini mkiangalia, not everybody within its area of service has water. Sio ni kweli? Bado kuna watu kadhaa ambao hawana maji, si ndio? Lakini they are within the area of jurisdiction ya this company. Now the question is, as we sit here, those Kenyans have a right to get water from the Constitution. How are they going to get this water service? We will need money, isn't it? Money will be required. Hakuna njia ingine, we need money. Now, we need to be putting in every year. Now as a country, we need to be investing now that the dollar has depreciated, something like 150 billion per year. That is the kind of money, the budget and money that we need as a country. And I think, Sasa, the MCAs I'm getting to you now, I think it's important we understand this. That is the kind of money that we should be, for budgetary allocation, we should be saying imeenda kwa maji. But we need to look at the current budget in the tuko nayo. Pesa ya maji yenye iko kwa budget is only 70-something billion. So you can see there is that gap. Na huo ni ukweli. Even when we meet the parliamentarians, we shall tell them the same thing. That we should be putting it by here this amount, but we are not going to put, so there's a gap here. So what do we do as a country? Do we just give up and say, hey, Sasa, we are able to do it? I think we have now grown come of age, we are intelligent. We shall not accept somebody telling us the world is coming to an end in 2030, like they did in the year 2000. Umesema mambo ya 2000. For the young tax who are here, this country had another vision in the 90s, ilikuwa nasema water for all by the year 2000. Ndio. Ikaenda around the 90 masauti, lakini kufika pale 97 ukasikia sasa haongei sana. And then now before 2000 around the corner, somebody came up with the story that the world is coming to an end 2000. Na sasa kwa sababu dunia inaisha kuna haja ya maji. You did hear that you go to a bank, you don't want given all those scared, isn't it? And all those, you were scared, and even actually got scared, and that night we did not know what would happen, you see, but things will remain fine the same. Now, then around the 2000 and something there, we came up with Vision 2030. I am sure around the year 2001, 2002, for those of us who are alive, kama ungeambiwa mambo ya 2030 ungesema wachana naye. Huko ni mbali sana tutafika, si ndio? Lakini we are headed there is only 7 years from now. So the issue I'm saying, we still have a gap. How do we feel this gap? I want to say we can feel that gap if we go business as usual. And I want to emphasize business as usual. Lakini tukienda business as usual, then tutakaa is even going to be worse. One, we need now to start to be innovative. Hii pesa itatoka wapi ya kujaza hii gap? Where are we going to get the difference? And I will be showing you the sort of innovation that is there. That is a graphic illustration of that. And let me give you a summary of that. So we need to put like 1.2 trillion. I just want to talk about what the other one is self-explanatory. But out of that money, government can only give about 500 and something billion. That's what the government can come in. There's about around 300 billion that is supposed to be given by the donors. But then despite that, there's another gap of another 500 billion that is there. One way now, we are trying to, one way of filling in that gap is by getting into like PPP, public-private partnership, like the way the roads are being done. Hizi barabara zile zinajengwa hakuna pesa inalipwa. Hii power that is being developed through Kenya hakuna pesa inalipwa hizi. So we should be asking ourselves, how come we don't have this PPP in water? So we really need to adjust ourselves and make sure they are PPPs. Then number two, we need to make sure our WSPs operate at some surplus, so that they can be able to leverage their revenue, then be able to access what we call blended financing. If this company has very healthy cash flows, then chairman unataka kuweka maji pahali fulani, it is within your powers. You can tell the MD and technical team, please do the budget, watakuambia ni 100 million. And because your cash flows are healthy, hakuna kitu mmemkataza mwende kulipa na commercial bank. And then hawa watu wakiwa nini? Maji. That becomes your responsibility. It's fully supported by ourselves. And there are some companies that are doing that. Those have healthy cash flows. They are really helping in closing the gap. But if the company is weak, hata mwezi karibia your bank that you operate on overdrafts. So your challenge as a whole now is to make sure that your company is operating at a positive cash flow. Then you should be able to leverage that. So this is the way we are saying now, moving forward, the sort of innovativeness. The gospel I'm preaching to you here, again, we shall preach it to Bunge, we shall preach it to Council of Governors, because all of us need to know how do we close this gap. Then as consumers, let us also pay our bills. Ukipata hiyo bill and this is came up, ujiulize na mtu miezi tatu anakataa, why can't I where does it get the water from? I think na hasa ameingia ile category nyingine ya water depth and the like, isn't it? Yes, and let us get a mechanism, and I agree that instead of disconnecting, what we do, maybe we put in our law. I know in Germany the law disallows you to disconnect because they know somebody needs water. So what the German law have done, ukishindwa kulipa maji, the law says ukikatiwa maji, then every morning the company have to bring it to you for the liters mitungi mbili. Kila siku ukifungua mlango pale unakuta mitungi mbili. Kila siku because of the right to water. Now companies wanasemaga kwanza tu negotiate na huyu mtu kuliko kutunga gari kila siku. So there will be a vehicle every morning coming from the headquarters MD. Peleka hii Mai hiyo, peleka hii Susu hapo na mzingine, peleka mitungi mbili, peleka pale. Sasa unaona it's a headache. When it can't be a headache, you say, why don't you get how it's becoming difficult. That's what they have done in Germany. So I think I like with your thoughts. Can we get an innovative way of dealing with it? Because when they don't pay and they say for many months, now wanatumia maji. Si kuiba wanaiba. Let's get away. I think I agree with that line of thinking. I think Put Connect is all hiyo imepitwa na wakati. That's the way I see it actually. And maybe we need to embed this thing in our law so that we can make our companies compliant with that. Yeah. So we have a duty to pay our bills so that our companies can operate at a positive cash flows. Now I want to share with you slides, this for the MCAs. What is the role now that we are here? And I'm informed you are new. And if you want to perform well when you are new, it is good to learn. If you learn from the beginning, then you end up being very effective. But as you go to the county assembly, your roles are those three. You know the end. Budgetary law to approve the budgets. And as you do that, unaweka pale microscope how much is going to water. You know, you'll be approving budgets ya mambo mingi kule. But begin, how much? Is it better than what we had last year? Is it increasing? Now you need to have an eye on that and put pressure that I think we need more to come in water. Because the people you represent hawana maji. Now wanamsumbua every day. We want water here, we want to here. But unless that budget is increased, then there will be a challenge. The other thing is that you make the necessary laws, legislative law. And that county laws as contemplated in article that of our constitution is very important. One thing at the same time, next week is gazetting a very important document, county water service strategy. Ukiona document kama hiyo, support it. Because the county water service strategy, it is an instrument, it is a roadmap in terms of water service provision to tailored na Iligani. And it surpasses who is in office. You see, it was developed before the elections. You know our new governor, but it's a valid document. You know, it's a good document that goes perpetuity. So yours is to be able to pass such a document when it comes to you. And then also the oversight role is very key. That's oversight, not micromanagement. Oversight. Si kitu kiharibika huko unatoka maimani unakimbia unasema haki hiyo mwendia ataniona yule. Naondoa hiyo MP. No. It is just oversight. If there are issues, there is already a board. Bring it to the attention of the board, and then it's resolved through the issue. For the sector, I think we need to do much more. I think just a summary. We need to do much more than we are doing. We need to cut down on our losses. We are losing so much in terms of non-revenue water. And we also need to be alive to the impact of climate change. Climate change, kunanyesha, mitambo inaharibika, kunakauka, maji nakosa. We need to come up with a system of mitigating against that. I said we have a criteria of assessing how companies have performed. There's a way we do it. We don't decide anyhow. But I talk this as we conclude. Before we just begin the discussion, that's when I share with you that slide. But for now, I will just conclude my presentation at this stage, but emphasize that we have done very well in the urban centers, and we still have a challenge in the rural areas. You still need to get a model. How do we do those vendors? How do we integrate those vendors? We still need to get ways of dealing with that. But I want to say that once, I think 2 years ago, we did develop guidelines for regulation of those vendors, and I think we are now at the stage of implementation. I think I won't stop here. I will just share with you the last slide after the plenary session. Thank you.
I'm sure sasa ukiulizwa leseni ni nini unaelewa. Madereva tuko nao hapa. Kinao madereva wa magari. Huwezi kuendesha gari bila leseni. Na sasa hii kampuni yetu iko hapa kutafuta leseni kwa wale ambao wameingia wakati proceedings zilikuwa zinaendelea. Mtusalimie Can see this beautiful lady came in while the presentations were on. You can wave to us. Good afternoon. Any other person? Tumtambue. Right. Tunaendelea vizuri. Tuko pamoja. Mkumbuke vile Salim Manga huwa anasema right. Natumai unaelekea vizuri kabisa. Hii ni idhaa ya TBC Kiswahili Channel 1. Tuko pamoja. Mzee wangu hapa ameshtuka sana. Hivyo ndio watangazaji husema. So it's just a commercial break. Kindly let's just stretch our legs. Get one or two friends wasalimie. MD wa Naivasha akiwa ana prepare kuja kutoa presentation. Just 1 minute, stretch your leg. Salimia mtu mwenye yako karibu na wewe. Sasa tunaenda mbio kabisa. Na ukisalimia usalimike. Sasa ndio tunaenda kusikia kampuni yetu imekuwa ikifanya nini. So have the break on 1 minute tafadhali, msiende kukaa huko sana nje. 1 minute, salimiana na mtu. MD na timu yako, nafasi ni yako. Please, 1 minute only, and turudi hapa ndani.
Okay, I think we can get in so that we proceed. let's get in so that we proceed. Okay, just a point of information, I've shared a few printed copies in most of the tables, especially if you may not be able to see here or the other screen that is there, you can use the copy that we have shared with. So my name is Ohome Nahashon. I'm the Managing Director in NAIVAWASCO, and I'll be taking you through a presentation about the company. Just request you in the next for my family. So I'll just do a very brief presentation about the company, and I want to believe that as we do so, most of the questions that we had will also be answered. So the company, NAIVAWASCO Water and Sanitation Company, was incorporated in 2005. Then it was owned by the municipal council, and also Rift Valley Water Services both then. It's currently it's a registered public limited liability company, wholly owned now by the county government of Nakuru, being the major shareholder, and the other shareholders include the CC Water, CC Finance, and the county secretary, who also hold shares in trust. We are also regulated by WASREP, and we have been given mandate to supply water and sanitation and provide sanitation services to Naivasha sub-county and its environment. I know Harry, when he was here, he said that we have, the chairman, he said that we are supplying water in Malewa West because it's near Naivasha. Our vision is to realize a reliable, sufficient, high quality and sanitation services accessible within a reasonable distance. And also our mission is to continuously provide adequate, high quality, affordable, accessible and sustainable water and sanitation services that exceed the needs and expectation of customers using contemporary technology. We also have a slogan, and our slogan basically is to be with you forever. So as we handle the issues, as we supply water, our slogan and our belief is that we're going to be with you forever. In terms of governance, which also has been mentioned, is that the company is run by the board of directors who represent various stakeholders, and I know we have those stakeholder groups here. And as our CEO had also mentioned, it's good to report that we have a board who serve for a term of 3 years, and also they are recruited competitively, and they also retire on rotational basis. The representation from the stakeholder groups include 2 directors from county government. We also have 1 from business community and resident organizations. We also have another director representing domestic consumers. We have another director representing professional organizations. And we also have 1 who represents special interest groups, which include women, youth, marginalized communities. And then also we have another 1 who represents commercial consumers. In total, we have 7 directors. So the board also is constituted, has 3 committees, and which includes a finance and administration committee. Then we also have a technical committee and audit, risk and governance committee. So the 3 are the ones that now make up the board. In terms of the achievements, because also we are seeing some of these things, it's good to indicate that
as much as we have gotten other awards from other stakeholders, the ones that carry weight are the ones that we've gotten from WASREB, and they are the ones which we are seeing here. And we have been the best utility in the medium category for 3 consecutive years. That is 2018-19, 2019-20, and again also 2020-2021. We have also been most improved utility for 2 years, that is 2017-18, and again also 2020-2021. And also we were awarded another award for best utility in reporting. Also, it's good to mention, and I know you're going to see it, that we'll be moving to a large category, and that means once we do now the assessment for the last year, because we had more than 10,000 connections, we will be now getting into large category. Now this is the indicators that WASREB uses to measure the utilities, and in the last 3 years, this is how we've been performing. And this marks, like the first column is about drinking water quality. So we have started with 2018-19, then 2019-20, and then 2020-21. Non-revenue water, we are supposed to reduce up to 25. For water coverage, we have been improving. We did 94%. Hours of supply, we are doing averagely 23 hours in a day. Staff productivity, we were at 11 employees per 1,000 connections. We suppose also to reduce. Then revenue collection, we were at 92. Personnel efficiency, personnel expenditure, that was 45%. Then O&M costs, that Engineer Jaga had also mentioned, we were at 111%. Then our metering ratio is 100, and the total score was 124. And then ranking within our category, then we were number 1. And overall, we were number 4. So these are also other KPIs, KPIs just to help you understand how the company has been progressing from 2017 up to 2022. And we also looked at the capacity in terms of how much water we can be able to produce per day. And initially, in 2017, we only had 10 boreholes, but this column, 21-2022, we have 22 boreholes, so there has been an increase. So the capacity of boreholes in 2017, it was about 7,000 meter cubic in a day. But currently, we can be able to produce over 19,600 in a day. But now, that is not what we produce normally, because we have challenges with infrastructure. That means we've not been able to connect to so many people, and we need to invest more in the infrastructure so that we reach more people, and then we can be able now to produce more water to take to people. And in terms of performance and still capacity, this is how we've been producing annually. So the amount of water that we've been producing, and again also amount of water available for sale, has also been increasing on an yearly basis from 2017, which was 1,043,000. Then 2021-2022, we closed at 1.995 million meter cubic. That's right. And other also indicators, looking at connections. The connections, that is the number of connections, the people you are serving. You'll see that in 2017, we had 4,500 connections. In 2021-2022, we closed, that is at June, we closed at 11,102 connections, so that you can see there is also progress. Also the amount of water that we bill in terms of meter cubic has also been increasing, and we closed at 1.5 from 668, that is almost 3 times. Hours of supply has also increased from 18 to 24, and when we say 24 hours, is because we supply to all areas 24 hours, apart maybe from when we have challenges with power blackouts, or maybe a major breakdown. But normally, on on average, we're able to supply water for 24 hours. And again, also NAW has been reducing. And last year, that is 2022. This has not been verified by WASREB, that is the last column. But last year we closed at 26%. That is NAW. Then on sales, also sales have been increasing from 133 million per year in 2017 up to last year we closed at 196 million Kenya shillings per year. And also collection efficiency has also been increasing. Next. It is good to mention some of these challenges so that we be aware of them. Some of them are a bit unique in terms of they affect now Naivasha water. And one of the issues is high production cost. You will note that all our sources are groundwater. That means that we have to pump. Most of the other utilities, they can get water, they have dams and they use gravity to supply water. But us, we have to pump every single drop that people consume. And that's the reason why the cost of production is high, because they have to pay electricity. And again also, there is high operational costs. We have quite a number of things. But one of the things that I can talk about, which I would also want the regulator to be aware, is that we normally have challenges when we have very many decentralized units or production units. Like we'll have a borehole, and because we still want to supply water for 24 hours, we need to have employees in those boreholes to make sure that we're supplying water in shifts. There are other utilities where they only have one big treatment plant. That means that they only have very few employees in that treatment plant. But for us, we need to have many employees to be able to sustain 24-hour supply, and again in different areas because of those decentralized production units. Again also under water quality, we have areas where we have high fluoride levels and also manganese, especially in along the South Ray. But we are also, for fluoride, we have been able to identify an aquifer that is has good quality water, and that is also what we are supplying. We also now need to invest more in such boreholes. Again, also, we have a challenge with competition from illegal third-party suppliers. And I know one person had also mentioned about this. And this is one of the critical things that also challenges both us and also the community, because some of these people also do not observe some of the critical things like the quality of water and reliability. And that is why I think together with the county we are still working in terms of making sure that all people who supply water are supposed to be licensed or regulated. Then also there is legal framework. The reason why I was putting this is because you find as a utility sometimes we pay a lot, and some of the things that we are paying, we pay to different institutions. An example is we pay WRA effluent discharge license fee, and again NEMA, we are still going to pay them the same fee, that is again effluent discharge fee. These things also make the cost of production or the cost of supply to be high. The other thing also is inadequate funding for development activities. So we don't have sufficient funding. We really rely so much on county government and donors, but we don't have that much financing that can help us to bridge the gap that is currently there. So we supply to the whole of Naivasha sub-county. So these are the wards within the sub-county. Maybe you may not be able to see them clearly, but the next slide I'll be able to explain a few things. Where we are serving fully is Viwandani and Lakeview. Viwandani and Lakeview, we have our network there. If there is somebody who has not connected, that means it's them who have not approached us and or has not either paid for a connection. But I can tell you, Viwandani and Lakeview, we have our systems there. Biashara, at least we are partially serving. We have areas that we have not been able to cover. Hell's Gate or Kalia, also Naivasha East, Maela, Malewa West, and also Mahil. Then we now have 3 regions that it's good also to be aware of them. Viwandani and Lakeview, the former municipality. Those ones are in central region. And then Biashara, Naivasha East and Malewa West, they are in Eastern region, and then the other wards are in Southern region. And the hours of supply, as I had mentioned, is that all places, all the customers we are serving, we are able to serve them 24 hours, 7 days in a week, unless maybe we have a major breakdown or another issue. And that's why we are also trying to make sure, or putting some few other measures to make sure that we're able to continue supplying this. And we, in our production sites, we are now installing, and we actually have installed standby pumps to make sure that in case we have a pump breakdown, then we still have another standby pump that is going to do that. We're also solarizing our boreholes. And the reason why we are solarizing our boreholes, basically two major things. One is to reduce our production cost. Two is to increase our reliability. Because sometimes you will find Kenya Power, we might have some power blackouts, and also there are delays in working on them. But with solarization, it means that at least we'll be having solar during the day throughout, and we can be able to produce water even when there is a power blackout. Then also increasing our storage capacity, and again also we're increasing our production capacity. I know somebody talked about a new connection, and I am also going to just mention a few things regarding new connection. Is that for those people who are just next to our lines, we are ready and available to connect them because we still have sufficient water to connect those people. And the only thing is that they will need to come, present themselves, and also make sure that they present the documents that are required. For instance, we need to have proof of ownership of land, we need to get a PIN certificate and a copy of ID, and also the forms. And then also this is the cost. The cost of connecting is not as high. I know there are community water projects which even charge 25 or 50,000. Us, we only charge 2,500 or 2,500, and then you also pay for the water deposit, and we give you a meter for free. Once you do this, you are going to get a meter for free. So the cost of connection is not as high as we try to make sure it's minimal, to make sure that people can afford to connect. Then also sewer connection, again the same thing. The only additions is that we need to get approved designs and a sketch just to ensure that we only get sewer. I know we have had challenges of people channeling their stormwater to the sewer system, which is wrong and it's illegal. So you need to ensure, even when you are coming to apply, that you have a way of disposing of your stormwater. So that is why we still need to get some of these things to make sure that we are able to serve you in a better way. Now again, it's good to mention for the low-income areas and also within the poor areas, we also have another product which we are calling as a social connection product. That means that you may approach us and you do not have sufficient funds for applying because you require some materials, you require to pay the connection fee. And if at all you do not have sufficient funds, then there is this product that will allow you to pay over a period of time. So this social connection, you come and you agree with our people in terms of how much time we are going to pay for the materials or for the connection. So we have that product that we give to our people. So therefore, if at all you are not able or you cannot afford a connection, that means you can be able to benefit from this. You come, you approach our people. We also have our marketers who come around, and I know if you approach them, they're also going to explain to you about this social connection product that we're having. This is our billing or our tariff, and you see because I'm also trying to answer some questions, is that as we, based on also the approvals from WASREP, as we try to do things the other way. I know when you try to buy your unga, when you're buying things in wholesale, you buy things in a cheaper way, or it will be cheap to buy things in wholesale. But in the way we charge water, the people that use less water, they pay less. And the reason, there are two reasons. One is to ensure that we are able to conserve, and again, two, it is believed that poor people do not use a lot of water. So if you use less water, then you also pay less. And that is how our tariff is, just to ensure that we're also supporting the low income areas. And as you use more water, then you pay more. So that is how our tariff is. And we are very cheap. I know some areas where people are being charged even 200 shillings per unit, and even more. But our charges, especially for now, the lower band, they pay 60 shillings only per unit. And there are other issues sometimes before. We do not have any starting charge as of now. So if you consume 2, you're only going to pay 120 shillings, now plus the metering. Next. Also for sewage tariff, this is 75 shillings per 75 shillings of the water billed, so the volume of billed. And again, also there are those people who do not have a water connection, but they do they are connected to a sewer system. For single dwelling units, and it's very clear to mention this, it's 350 shillings per month. So if you have different units, then I think you'll be able to do your math. But for single dwelling units, it's 350 shillings per month. Next. This is the billing process that we have, because we have again split our area into 3 regions. So we read our meters like this. So when you see our employees, they will be coming either with badges or branded shirts, and we'll be able to note them. But they're supposed to get into your area these dates. So Central Region, it's around 18th to 20th of every month. And then Southern is 9th to 15th, and then Eastern is 1st to 6th. So you should be able to, you just open for them and let them read the meters so that you can get accurate billing. The other thing also we needed to mention is about how we manage our complaints. And the first thing is that you can visit our offices. Our customer care is always available from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then also we have a customer care number, which is also shown here. And then again, we have our USSD code. This you can use even to pay your bills, or even to query your bills, or to launch any complaint if you have. So you just need to make sure that you have this number in your phone, *873 *252 hash. That means if you're not aware of how much your bill is, then you just do this. You don't need even to call any person. You just use this code, and you'll be able to know your bill. If you have any complaint, you can also use this system to launch that complaint. Again, also you can send an email to customer care at Naivasha Water, and also info@naivashawater.co.ke. And then we also have various social media platforms, so like Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp, which you can again use to also launch any complaint, or even to make any request. If at all you want to apply for a connection, you can still use these methods to apply for a connection, and then you're going to be guided. Then again, you can also feel free to notify our regional and also zonal staff, because under the regions we also have zones. Like in CBD or in Central Region, we have CBD, Lakeview, those now are zones under that region. We also, it's good also to mention our payment platform so that it becomes easy. We don't handle cash. It's good to say that. We don't handle cash. And nobody should ask you for cash. And you're not supposed to pay cash money to any person. So, as a customer, what you're supposed to do is to either use the pay bill. There is an M-Pesa pay bill number there, 641771, or you can pay through banks like Cooperative, Post Bank, and Family Bank, and also KCB. You can be able to pay through those banks, and we are going to receive your payments. Then we also offer other services like Exhauster. We do the connection. We also block private sewer. So if you have those issues, we can be able to assist at a small charge. We make sure that it's not high, it's something that is affordable. Next. And also, because WASREB has also allowed us to penalize people when they do illegal things, like illegal water connection. So, if you have any illegal water connection, that is you, like what you are saying, that you're supposed to come and apply for a connection. But we have noticed that there are very few people who would want to go and connect directly and start benefiting from that water, which has costed us to pump, to supply, because also there are people who are maintaining the lines, and we also getting some supplies to make sure that the lines are okay. And so you are taking advantage of other people, and that means that if you are caught, then you will be penalized this amount. So there is amount for illegal water connection for domestic, and again also for water kiosks. If you overcharge, then you will also be penalized. Then also for sewer, and also tampering with meters. So these are things that are going to affect operations of the company, and therefore that is why, in case you do that, then you'll be penalized. As I'm finishing, then I will just look at the gaps and priority areas. One of the major gaps we have as a utility is investments. So we have a challenge, as I had mentioned, with the infrastructure. As much as we may have water that we can be able to supply for 24 hours, then we still need to invest more in the on the infrastructure. We have quite a number of areas where we are not covered with the infrastructure, and we're also trying to work on them. Again, also we need to address issues on long-term climate resilience, so that because we are still using groundwater, we've seen there are those boreholes that the levels of water is going down, and therefore we still need to ensure we have various activities that are going to help us to conserve water sources, including gazettement and also implementing other measures. Then also the other critical issue is financing. We have inadequate financing, especially for development activities. The tariff can only help us to meet our O&M costs, but now expanding will need to have more financing. However, it's good to mention that we have quite a number of projects that are also we're trying to work. We have been supported by the county, donors, and again also different government institutions. Like Mirera Q, we're also doing another project in CBD to reduce our NRW. Manera, we worked with the county. There is emergency water works for development of independent water community projects, proposed Naivasha sterilization project. We also have Kabati Sewer project, Karema. So all these projects we're working together with various stakeholders to make sure that we are able to extend our water and sanitation services so that all of us can be able to benefit. Again, it's good also to mention the major financing methods we try to get funding from. And as I say, internal finances, that is from the tariff, not only helps us to meet our O&M costs, we are also very much interested in commercial financing. And I want to say that the residents of Kayole and Mirera, the water that came is because we took a loan from a commercial bank here in Naivasha, Cooperative Bank, worth 89 million shillings, which we implemented that project. We completed the project in 2018, and right now we paid over 80% of that loan. And based on that, we are still thinking of now going again to the bank and to acquire another loan once we get all the approvals, to be able to supply now water in Kedamba, the upper parts of Mirera, Karai area, so that now these other areas now will be connected with water. Again, also rely on donor funding and also government funding. The county government has been very helpful, and also national government through Central Rift Valley Waterworks Development Agency. And then also public-private partnerships, like that's the model we are using to do our solarization. And again, and I will have to appreciate the community for this, is also community partnership. We have seen community members coming, and we agree that they are going to provide pipes and we are going to provide labor, especially in areas where we are a bit strained. And we provide labor, they provide pipes, and we are able to connect them. So this also has been very, very useful for ensuring that we are able to connect. But I also wanted to, because also our mandate is also to provide, basically to provide water and sanitation services. I also wanted to say that we are now going to, we are prepared to provide sanitation services. And when I mean sanitation, it means both sewerage and now on-site sanitation. And we are trying to come up with a product together with private exhausters and other interested stakeholders to develop a way, to come up with a way of providing sanitation services to all the people. If you are not connected with sewer, and because you still need to have those sanitation services, we are working together, or we are going to work together with those stakeholders. And I wanted to introduce Kooke, so that when you see him, especially people from the exhausters, I don't know whether they came, we had invited them. We work together with Kooke to ensure that we're able to provide these services to all the people, so that you don't have to have sewer for you to be served. But again, also if you have toilet, or we can be able to still provide these services to you. So that is our presentation to you today. And maybe I think when it comes to the time for plenary, we are going to receive questions and we are going to respond to them. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Bonaindi, for making it very clear to us on which direction. Sasa nafasi ninaitoa kwa maswali. Tutachukua round kama 2 ama 3 ya maswali. So you say your name, which stakeholder group you represent, and you go straight to your answer. So the first 4 hands. 1, 2, 3. Nataka watu 4 wa kwanza. So so we'll start with someone? Very well. So tutaanza pale 1, 2, mami akue wa pili, representative wa MCA pale 3, 4. Straight to the question. Tuanze.
Habari ya wote. Mimi naitwa Jenga Wilson. Nasimamia CCR. Mimi siaona kwa hii maji, kwa sababu mimi najua iko ile pesa natoaga kwa services. Kwa hiyo niko ndani. Ile kitu kimefanya nichukue mkono mbele. Last time.
Jenga, unatoka area gani?
Yeah. Ile kitu kimefanya nichukue mkono mbele. Niliona last time tulipinywa. The event was overtaken by politicians. Hatukupewa nafasi kusema. Na unajua si baya wakiongea. Tunatakiwa kuongea, ndio wakati wanasema kuongea, kama yuko jibu atajibu pamoja na ile nilisema. Kwa sababu kama wale wamekuja hapa hatujakutana na wao asubuhi, utampea nafasi aseme nini? Na hajakutana na watu ndio mwana tunakutana mkutano kama huu. So hata wakati mwingine mpeange sasa wale watu ya chini kama sisi tunasema. Yangu kitu ya kwanza iko sijui nani alisema mambo ya World Bank, kama tulijulizwa hiyo tulipata ripoti, na mimi nikawa moja, niliitwa na hiyo wazungu kwa ofisi fulani, nikahojiwa, nikapeana yote, na mimi sitakai kusema mtu ni mzuri kwa sababu hako what I said. Kwa ile ofisi tulikuwa, MD hakujua tuliongea nini, hata akina hali hawakujua, lakini vile niliwapaka mafuta kwa sababu walikuwa nafanya kazi kusema kweli. Kwa hivyo usiseme mtu ni mzuri kwa sababu ako, hiyo niliwapaka mafuta kulingana vile walikuwa nafanya wakati ule. Kwa hivyo mambo ya pesa ya World Bank hiyo tulijua. Haya, hata kama namba tu, hata kama tunakuwa mambo ya siwa, na hakuna haja ya kuongea maneno leo, tukija next year tuongee mambo ya siwa. Tuko na shida sana. Iko mtu mmoja, iko kijana mmoja aliongea habari ya pit latrine. Hiyo choo ni very stressing. Ni kama wakati ile machoo tulikuwa tunatumia wakati ya mkoloni, hata ikawa ilikuwa tofauti, ni ya kwamba tofauti ya wakati ule na huu ni yangu kwa plot yangu, lakini wakati ya mkoloni ilikuwa inajengwa laini ya public. Sasa nikaona hiyo kitu kama wanakuja kuelikali kitu chini ya machoo, wakati walilete roli ya kuvuta hii exhauster bwana MP. Hii siwa, hata nimesagaa kuona yuko mama moja pale, nimeona hapo ndani ya kamati ya finance, na ni jirani yangu, sijui wao ndio wamekataa na pesa tuwekewe sewage. Sasa mimi naambiwa ni ya price sewage kutoka pale kwa rami mpaka hapa. Maji walitoa pale kwa rami, wameweka main line inapitia kwa hii maploti yote kutoka kwa barabara inaenda. Sasa ni connection tu. Bwana MD, kwa nini mnangoja mimi apply? Siwezi kuapply siwa mniwekee kutoka kwa barabara mpaka hapa. Kwa nini hamweki the main mpeleke kulingana na vile line inaenda? Sasa tuwe tukiconnect. Sasa hiyo tunalipa. Tuko na shida sana ya siwa, na Naivasha is very growing at a high speed. Na hapo ndio nasema hata hawa ma MCA wajue ya kwamba tuko na shida, na mjue kwa nini tulitoa wale walikuwa.
Sasa tusiende hapo.
Niko na mambo ya siwa tu. Unajua hapa pale Daramea ni incoming town ya Naivasha, na inatoa revenue kubwa sana kwa serikali. Hakuna siwa, na hata last time tuliuliza, hakuna siwa, hakuna kitu inafanywa, na ile revenue inatoka huko, tunalipa pesa mingi sana. Tutakuwa compensated na nini kama hatuwekei siwa na mambo mengine? Hiyo ni ya MCA wajue bila watafanya. Mambo ya bilo iko mkubwa mmoja aliongea pale, nikakataana naye kidogo kusema mambo ya kukatia watu maji. Ukiongea hiyo kitu kwa mkutano mkubwa ya raia yote hawatalipa, kwa sababu mkubwa alisema tusikatiwe, tuwe tukiongea. Iko bili, utafute bili nyingine, kwa sababu kama mimi niko na nyumba, niko na tenants, na kabisa wanakataa kulipa maji makusudi, lakini kwangu niko ile bili natumia, watu ya maji wanajua. Mimi nawaitana na masupana na waambia wanikute kwangu kwa plot, wasema wanakuja kukata maji. Sasa wakija wanagonga mlango na mimi niko kwa ndani, wakisa ingia na unataka nini? Nakuja kukata maji. Kwani hailipi? Mimi amlipi maji? Mzee, ongea na hawa tulipe kesi. Na pesa inatoka kusema kweli. Lakini ukiwaambia utakuwa ukilipa namna gani? Hiyo na mimi nilisema kwangu, na nimesema hata nimekuja hapa kwa ofisi kusema, kwangu watu wakilipa pesa nusu ikatwe. Sababu najua ni wanakataa. Ikatwe. Usijaribu kuongea kwa mkutano kubwa Watasema mkubwa alisema tuwe tukiongea, tukijadiliana, hamtapata pesa. Haya, maji safi.
Sasa hiyo ni hapa ya mwisho.
Na kanusu. Maji safi. Mimi naona ile maji tumeletoa hapa ni ya Kreta. Tuna uhakika gani Bwana MP ile maji mnatupea ni safi? Kama hamkutupea maji mnaandikwa NAIVAWASCO mmetengeneza hapa, ndio tuamini ile maji tunakunywa ni nzuri. Mnatuletea ya Kreta. Ipitizo yake ni gani? Ile maji tunakunywa ni safi. Hiyo ikile ni mambo ya leakage ya maji. Mimi sijaandikwa kazi hapa na sipeagwi msara, na mimi hata kuwekewa credit siweke yangu, lakini nikipata maji na moja kidogo simu ndiye hiyo napiga. Nikiona huyo hasuguliki napigia mwingine. Sasa nataka hiyo litakuwa ni klipo tu basi. Na hiyo mambo MP umesema mambo ya simu ile tutakuwa tukisema hapa. Hata ikawa tulirekebisha na mwingine, mambo ya public relationship ni muhimu sana. Mimi nikipiga simu mahali nasema mimi ni fulani, ni customer naitwa fulani, naongea na nani tafadhali, ulikuwa unataka nini? Hebu niambie tunaongea na nani, kusudi ile ripoti nikimpea ikikosa kufika nitapigia MD au hali nimwambie tuliongea na fulani, nikamwambia maji na mweka mahali fulani. Iko shida ilikuwa hapa, na hiyo haikufika kwenu. Ilifanya nipige gari kutoka nyumbani tukuje hapa na tukasuluhisha na wale tukusuluhisha na wao. I hope that will not be repeated. Sababu mambo ya lazima mtu, hii simu nilikuwa nafikiria ni private, kumbe ni ya kazi. Simu ya kazi, mtu ukimuuliza naongea na fulani unataka nikusaidia namna gani? So yangu ni hayo, asanteni.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Tracy Ndego, chairperson of Maendeleo ya Wanawake and also representing consumer. Mimi nimetoka eneo linaitwa Kihoto, Lakeview. Tuko na shida. Kuna siwa line imetoka hapa municipal. Wakati imebust, hiyo siwa yote inaenda Kihoto. Tuko na shida kwa sababu tuko na watoto pale. Tuko na wamama pale ambao wanaumia. So, our MD ningetaka utusaidie kutatua hilo tatizo. Jambo la pili, tuko na penalties. For example, mimi nimetumia maji ya 350. Am I worthy kulipa 1,000 for penalty? Surely. Hiyo, I think you need to revisit. Kitu kingine, mambo ya hotline numbers. Tumekuwa na shida especially Kihoto. Sasa ndio watu wamerudi, hizo pipes zina burst. We usually call. Kama venye mwenzangu amesema, huwa tunapiga simu. Ni vizuri kwa sababu ile maji ikimwagika imepotea. Sio vizuri. Lakini we need a hotline number. Na wakati tumepiga hiyo simu, tunaona kuna watu wameingia pale na wamerusuluhisha hiyo shida. Tuko na kitu kingine, tumeona awards mingi hapo. Na najua hizi awards hazijakuja bure. Kwa hii kampuni tunataka mtupatie nini? Mmetuplania nini as a community? We need something to give us back to community. Tuko na mashida ambazo hazijakuwa connected with water. Do it. Thank you so much.
Maneno tusikie kiongozi hapo.
So my name is Peter Wangoi once again, and I wanted to, my point number one was on penalties, though Madam has talked about it, but I would really request if
the online viewers.
Okay, so I was saying on the issue of penalties, there are people who have been having a problem with accumulation maybe somebody has not yet paid their bills in time, then the amount of penalty that is charged is too high. And the condition for the person to get if the meter is disconnected, the condition is you pay the bill and you pay the penalty, right? Why don't they have to pay the bills first and then penalties come later? Because we understand that the penalties are very high. Like for example, somebody has to pay a water bill of around 200 shillings or 300 shillings. They fail to pay the bills, they have a larger penalty, actually larger than the bill they are supposed to pay. Why don't you give them a chance to pay their bills first, and then the penalties maybe can be paid in bits, instead of maybe having a large accumulation. Number two is on sewerage, right? How do we monitor the sewer lines so that sometimes maybe you can walk in town and there is one sewer line that has a normality of bursting. There is one at NAIVAWASCO around there, in between there and stage ya character. We have another one pale kwa agriculture finance unit around there. There is another sewer line, and we have another challenge in Kanjo. So the three of them have a normality of bursting. How do you monitor them so that immediately there is a burst, maybe you can be informed and rectify? Those are some of the things that we have. Then, excuse me, there is one last one. Yeah, exactly, this one. There is times when maybe there are constructions on the roads. During those constructions, we do have breakages. Maybe the water pipes have been damaged. Maybe sometimes there are problems with the buildings. Kuna vitu mingi zimeguzwa that concern this company. So I need maybe to clearly know who is supposed to rectify, who is supposed to undergo the cost of rectifying. Because so many times it has been the residents or the owner of the plots who is supposed to be doing it. Maybe we need the cost so that we have a good monitoring. The company and maybe the construction contractors, can there be a good liaison so that when there is a damage, the company should undergo the cost and not the residents themselves? Because maybe as the representatives of the MCAs, I will talk on behalf of the people of Yandani and maybe entirely the Naivasha people. We have to safeguard the tenants because they are the people that we represent. I thank you for the chance to talk on behalf of my people. Mbarikiwe sana.
Huyo ni kiongozi kabisa. Mpigie makofi, mnamnyima makofi kwa nini? Haya, tusikie ndugu hapo.
Kabuni yote. Kwa majina naitwa Joseph Maina kutoka Manyera. Ni asante kwa kuwa katika mkutano huu. Na kitu ya kwanza mimi naweza ongea, sisi ni wageni sana kwa upande wa maji kutoka Manyera, na ninasema ni asante. Tunatumia hiyo maji, tunatumia maji hapo mbeleni, lakini saa hii tunatumia maji, ni shukrani. Lakini kuna kila kitu ambacho kizuri kinachokuja uanga na challenge. Hiyo maji wakati iliwekwa, mimi ndio nilisimamia kwa water wakaweka mfereji, lakini ile mfereji iliyowekwa ni hafifu. Ingawa nilikuwa na challenge hapo mbeleni ya kuwa mfereji unatobolewa, na mpaka nikadamana na hiyo challenge na nikaimaliza. Lakini ile mfereji kuangalia upande ndani, ile mfereji inatoboka kila mahali. Hata saa hii tunaongea na nyinyi, hiyo maji inamwagika kwa miezi mitatu na hakuna mtu anatengeneza. Nimejaribu kupiga simu jawabu. La pili, nitaongea mambo kuhusu ulipaji wa maji, na nimesikia wengine wakiongea hapo kuhusu penalty. Hiyo ile material tuliweka, wengi wa hapo kwangu walikuwa wanasema zile
zile materials zilikuwa zinatumika walifaa kulipa kwa miezi 6, lakini kabla ya hiyo miezi 6 kumalizika, ile maji ilikuwa baada ya miezi 2 maji ilikuwa imekuja kukatwa. Hiyo kitu nikaingilia mpaka nikakuja hapa kwa ofisi na nikapata suluhu, nikapigia MD tukaongea na yeye na hiyo maji hiyo suluhu ikakuja ikapatikana. La tatu, kuna watu ambao waliwasilisha na wakalete form wakajaza, na hizo form ni mimi nilikuwa napatiwa, alafu napatia wafanyakazi wa kampuni zote, nikakusanya na nikazilete hapa. Baadaye walilipa,
zilikuwa form
za kujaza ili ya kulipa tu maji. Sasa walilipa maji na mpaka wa leo hawajaletewa maji. Almost 6 months imeenda na hata saa hii hawana matumaini ya kuletewa maji. Je, hiyo itakuwaje? Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
Maneno MD na timu yako, mmesikia mambo ya connection. Why would people be paying for connection and it takes over 6 months? Joseph Maina ameongea, Peter Wangoi, mshughulikie hilo swala sana la sewerage areas. When there is a vast construction, who pays? What is the responsibility of the company and what is the responsibility of the consumer? Joyce Ndegu anataka kusikia hiyo penalty mmecharge ilipitishwa kwa hii tarifu yenye mmepitisha juzi ama namna gani, and what your corporate social responsibility would be, and the issue of responsiveness in answering answering issues from your staff. Jenga Wilson anataka kusikia mambo ya siwa vile mmepanga na how to deal with defaulters, and are we assured of water quality? Karibu.
Asante. Nataka kualika hawa wageni wawili pia kuja tuweze kujibu maswali. No, tuko na majibu lakini wataanza alafu ile tabaki itasaidia. Okay, asante sana kwa maswali. Tutajaribu kujibu, lakini najua yote tutapata solutions because we have my colleagues here. So I will answer some of them, then my colleague will also answer. I think nitaanza na hiyo ya penalties. What happens is that hiyo penalty, vile tumetaka kusema, hiyo penalty iko kwa tariff. So what happens, that amount is charged when you are disconnected. But I agree, najua tumeongea about also trying to negotiate, but wanajenga pale pia ako na maoni tofauti, lakini what we also trying to embrace, especially when wako na bill less than 1,000, we try and negotiate ndio zipate hiyo penalty, because when you have a bill of 350 na unakatiwa maji, then you have to pay reconnection fee of 1,000. I think that does not make a lot of sense at that moment. So that one is something that we'll work on it. I know my colleague will also support us on that.
On that, in case you have a challenge, usigojee hiyo wakati ifike. You know you have a challenge, come first, we talk. That's the thing. But sasa ukigojea haulipi, time inaenda, then that's why sasa utakuwa disconnected na utalipa penalty. But if you have a challenge, can you make sure that you come early? That's, I think, the best thing.
Okay, thank you. So the other one is on sewer blockages, Naivas Ndogo, AFC na County Council. Maybe nitaanza na Naivas Ndogo. One of the challenges that we are facing in Naivasha, especially over the last 3 months, is vandalism of our sewer manholes. If you look at, especially hapo Naivas Ndogo, I know there are people who are not connected there. So what they do, at times they vandalize our manholes so that they can be able to dump their waste.
So that's something that we have been trying to do. Internally, what we are trying to do is also have a surveillance team and also have at least manhole covers ready so that we replace them. But that's a challenge. I think we have tried to engage the community around that area to be vigilant, because that was one of the challenges that we're having in Upper Naivas logo, because that one is interconnected with that one, yeah, AFC. Then it goes to a treatment plant. So if dumping is done at that area, hiyo ndio inaenda kublock huko mbele, and we have a challenge. So one of the causes of that is vandalism. However, as we work on that, we are trying also to ensure, and we are ensuring that our sewer team, we have an emergency sewer response team that is able to unblock them immediately. Though at times, especially during the rainy season, because of storm water, there's a bit of strain, but we are trying to also respond effectively as we also work on this issue of the vandalism of the manhole covers. Pipe breakages during road construction. I know that has been a challenge, especially because Naivasha is a growing town. There's a lot of rehabilitation, culverts, construction, and also road repairs. So for our main lines, what we have been trying to do is also work with, because most of them are county roads and maybe Kura. So we have been trying to have a lot of networks and also ensure that when they are coming to construct a road, we have consultation before them so that we ensure that there is minimal breakage, because also there is a challenge of budget for repair of that. So we have been trying to ensure that that is done. However, in case of any damage, the cost is borne by the contractor or the agency that is responsible for that construction. So that is something that we have been working on. We currently in Lakeview, there is construction going on, and that's something that we have been working on. However, for the customer lines, we encourage that, especially where we're not able to map out, if your connection is vandalized, please also notify us as a normal complaint of no water so that we also pick it up. But we also try to be proactive so that when there is that damage, we also repair it at one go at the cost of the contractor. But we also ensure that there is minimal downtime. We have an arrangement with the contractor how they pay the company, we provide the materials, then from there we ensure that there is no interruption of water supply. There was an issue of Manera. I think that water burst, we shall pick it up. It's there. I think that's what I would say. And I think it's something that we'll attend, because if it is still not attended, we should be able to attend immediately. And we have picked it up. On the part payment for social connection, yes, we agree that this is 6 months. I think there was a small confusion on that, but I think vile umesema tumesuluhisha hiyo. So even including changing our system, because we have automated our systems, so at times flagging off for the disconnection team has been a challenge, but we have sorted out in the system. So kama uko on part payment, the system will not flag you out as somebody should be disconnected, and so people will not come to the ground to disconnect you. Maybe the last one is on the hotline. I would say that as MD showed in his presentation, we are trying to have as many options for lodging of complaints, because one of the challenges we have realized with expansion is that our hotline number at times is has calls throughout, because kuna watu wa Maimai hawezi pick up and all that. So we are expanding the platforms, as you have seen. So let's try also to explore all those platforms, as we also work towards establishing what we call a call center, where we shall have calls being picked throughout and also being redirected, because that's the next step that we want to get to. Yeah, thank you. Manera, connections? For connections for Manera, maybe I know my team is here, but one of the challenges you've had with Manera, kuna customers tuna contact na wanasema hawapatikani, hawako tayari. Because when we collect all the forms, what we have been doing is now individual responsibility to connect money. Kuna mwingine anasema tungoje atatuambia, na mwingine anangoja tunini. But what we do, tutachukua hiyo list na tuwa contact so that we connect them immediately, because we need those connections. Yes, yes. So what happens? Unajua after that kuna the process of getting ready for connection, but I think we can pick that up.
Thank you so much, yes. I'll handle 2 questions from Mr. Ndegwa. One is on water quality.
when the MD was doing his presentation, he mentioned a few challenges that we have in Naivasha, and of course one of which was water quality. However, I want to let the sitting know here that our water is very much okay. We are 100% on underground water, and as we know, Naivasha and all the other areas along the floor of the Rift Valley, we have a major challenge on fluoride. However, as a utility, we've been able to invest in a defluoridation unit in our major production site, that is Karate, and we defluoridate all the waters to ensure that we are below 1.5 milligrams per liter. So the only reason why our water is not here is because we are not yet there. We are not doing water bottling, but I'm so sure with your support we'll be able to get there in the coming years. The other question I want to respond to is on the sewer network around Hopewell and also the hotel around Delamere. Yes, we don't have a sewer network there at the moment, and the sewer network that we are currently operating on, the network plus the treatment works, were done in the 1980s. And at that time, this area around Delamere and also Hopewell, we didn't have much of the investments that people have done there now. However, it's our responsibility as a utility to ensure that we expand our network, and this is work in progress. We've been able to do a preliminary design system. That area is a bit lower compared to where our treatment work is. So what we're doing is we are looking at doing a pumped system for sewer, specifically for Hopewell and also the area around Delamere. So it's work in progress. I'm so sure that in the next few months you'll see us do something like this.
So I think there are two things that I missed. I think one is county council houses. Maybe one of the challenges we have with these county council houses is because there is a housing scheme. So these are private lines, sewers connected to the admission blocks. And one of the things is that, the county councils, they don't pay for sewer or water. In the old arrangement, in the previous government, we were working with the MCA to see how we can have those households connect to water. And also so that they can pay for water and sewer. Because one of the things, you find some of these blockages, ziko karibu na nyumba za watu in private sewers. So what we would ask is that you support us to be able to have all these houses connected to water, so that we also connected to a sewer system, so that we can be able to maintain it. Because we still maintain it, but the challenge is that arrangement. We want to formalize it so that it can be easy for us, even when we're doing those works. And also to be able to control also the dumping of waste in those manholes. The other one is on Kehoto. Kehoto sewer line, I agree, we had a major sewer overflow. I think last week, part one. And one of the reasons is also what I have talked about, vandalism. We had some of our pipes vandalized, a big stretch of pipes that was vandalized. So the effluent after the treatment plant was flowing into Kyoto, but that has since been rectified. I think Madam Joyce, you will confirm that, and also if the chief can confirm that. We have rectified that, and right now even the team is actually now on the ground working on the reinforcement of that line, so that we do not have further vandalism. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Just to add on, especially those two issues that Harry has mentioned, the one on CCR, just to make it clear, what we are working on was the MCA had put some money in the budget, isn't it? But it was not sufficient. So the request is, I think you can still try to ensure that there is budget that will help us to connect the CCCR houses. And also on that line in Kyoto, there are two things. There is that vandalism, and again,
we also noted the people who are organizing also those lines. There are people near Kehoto who are farming, and they normally come at night, they vandalize the lines so that they can use that water for irrigation. And I know these are police cases of now, but I'm saying this because we still require support from the community, so that those people who are doing that, we still need to take action on them, all of them, so that they stop doing it. Because even farming, with as much as it's treated, it is not good, because also we need to confirm other things. Then I think there are two more things that have not been answered, and I can think of answer. The one on CSR, and I would still say that we still have a few CSR projects which we try to come in and work with community. And one is that we have quite a number of PSF, or public sanitation facilities, that have been assisted by donors to construct amongst where people are. And this year we still have one that we'll be doing in Hindu. And we also work with various schools. I know there are a few schools, based on the agreements that we have, where we have assisted them only to do a connection, but they have to pay for water consumption. Maybe they needed a few pipes, we have tried to come in, but again that